Good afternoon, Westwood, and welcome to Fly Field for the Chowder Cup Round 2 game. Wolverines taking on the visiting Mansfield Hornets, and we have ourselves a doozy here. Evan Cardamino, Morgan Donahue. Evan, Mansfield Hornets right now, 9-0, ranked high in the top 10 right now, the Globe, and this is one of the top teams in the state, especially for Division II. Wolverines have a great opportunity here at home, which doesn't happen often, but in a beautiful day as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot on the line for both these teams right now. We're in round 2 of the Chowder Cup. Both these teams won 10-9 on Tuesday, as every team won 10-9 on Tuesday. But a lot on the line here for both these teams. For the Mansfield Hornets, a win today would get them at the 500 mark, would lock them into the MIAA tournament. It seems crazy to be thinking about it this early in the season, but here we are.
To do that in April is unheard of.
Exactly, and for the Wolverines, they can play spoiler here and improve to 8-1 on the day and advance in the Chowder Cup. A lot on the line here for both these teams. I was here this morning setting up. Both these teams came out here fired up, so expect to see a high-paced, energetic match here early.
Brett Bama, Brad T-Bolt on the face-off dot. Garrett T-Bolt, and we are underway. The ball goes back and picked up by Mansfield. Mansfield getting the first possession, and they'll work it into Westwood territory. That was a nice ground ball by Cole Gibson.
And Morgan, first time in a few years at least, of the years we've covered lacrosse, that the Chowder Cup's been here right at home at Westwood.
Yeah.
So this is a first for us here. So it should be an exciting day, round 2. It's a beautiful, Thursday day here. It's going to get warmer as the day goes on. It should enjoy the sun as Mansfield works it in.
Yeah, that's a ball that's going to work its way to the left. I think it's technically a shot, so that will stay with Mansfield. Mansfield, as we mentioned, 9-0. Westwood, had a playoff game versus these guys a couple years ago, and Liam Williams mentioned on the Westwood Living Sports Show that there's some unfinished business with these guys. Westwood had a 7-2 lead going into the half, and then they lost 8-7. So they didn't have any goals in the second half, and Mansfield came out and won the game. So it was a game that's on the top of their mind, because that was a team that had so much talent. You remember a couple years ago, so many, players that were seniors, juniors, sophomores, and even freshmen playing that game. The juniors on this team now were freshmen then. Seniors or sophomores as Mansfield working around. Westwood D doing a good job keeping the perimeter outside. That shot goes wide. Going to stay with Mansfield. So this, definitely two teams that have kept an eye. Mansfield was a Final Four team last year, and a big save by Jaden Pollock. That's how you set the tone, and he's going to dish it right to Liam Williams, crosses the 50. And big set of events there. Big save and then nice clear as Williams gets the touch. But Mansfield was the team that made to the Final Four on the other side of the bracket to take on Bill Ricca. So these are two Final Four teams from last year's Division II MIAA state tournament.
Yeah, and it should be a good game. These are two of the top 20 teams in the Globe right now. In fact, you mentioned it before the start of this to me, Morgan. 6 of the 8 teams in the Chowder Cup are right now top 20 in the Globe. So this is going to be
Walsh with the shot that goes wide. Going to stay with Westwood.
One of those tournaments that, the rest of the state's going to be keeping an eye on, see how these teams fare against each other. This is going to be a big tell for, the playoffs. It seems crazy that we're talking this early about the playoffs, but this could have implications. These are tough matches.
Game.
Yeah.
Ball took a deflection. Westwood trying to throw it into space. Battling forward is Dempsey. Keeps it inbounds, able to pick it up. Nice play there by Dempsey. Sends it up top to Sesselman. Sesselman with some space. Going to send it down low to Walsh. That shot saved by the Hornet goalkeeper. Picked up by Stuhler. Stuhler working around the net, looking for the net front. Over to Sesselman. A little spin move. Holds on it. Good job by the long stick D there on Mansfield. That was Cole Gibson. And Wolverines will set it right back up. In the stick of Liam Williams. He's got some space. Watch out, folks. When he gets his feet moving, creates some space, he can do some dangerous things. A little swim move. Going left, right. Shot. That goes wide. That was a rocket. Going to stay with Westwood as Stuhler, well positioned behind that net in the X position. Here's Sam Cochran coming off, scoring his 100th point of his career, as well as the guy with the ball right now, Greg Walsh. Both of them in the same game. Walsh with the shot. Goes off the side of the net, working its way out of bounds. Going to say it's a Mansfield ball. So good hustle by the Mansfield defender. Looked like a short stick midi, able to beat Westwood to the angle, and they're going to get the possession. A couple good looks for the Wolverines, unable to get it in the back of the net, but some good movement. Both teams have had some quality shots towards the net. Mansfield had a shot on net, big save by Pollock. Mansfield looking to get that ball across the 50. They do. As Westwood aggressive as they knock it loose. Walsh gets the ball on the ground, then picked up cleanly by Williams. What a job by Williams. Picked that up cleanly with a long stick nonetheless. That was an infraction on Mansfield. Will stay with Westwood.
Yeah,
what a play.
That's going to be key for the Wolverines there. We saw C.J. Hancock against Holliston just a week ago here at the Flay High Field. One of the keys of his game was getting those balls loose and, getting on the field and creating turnover opportunities for the Wolverines. I think against a tough opponent like Mansfield, you're going to need to do that today. He was right there with Walsh on that play as well. 2 guys on the defender and just a clean turnover for the Wolverines.
So C.J. Hancock's, people have been giving him the nickname the Surgeon. I was thinking, Evan, thoughts on the Samurai? There he goes. Knocks the ball loose. Turnover caused by Hancock. Samurai. Right after that, I think it might have to stick.
I think since you used it, he had a good play. I think it has to stick.
I think it has to stick. The Samurai gets it on the ground.
You got me at a tough time. I was enjoying my coffee, but yeah, I like it.
The Samurai right back in the stick of the Wolverines. Comes Walsh. 100 points. Looking to add to it. Down low to Stuhler. Stuhler working through a couple D. Gets knocked on the ground and picked up by Mansfield. Handed off to the goalie for the clear. Nice play there by Nico Smith. Mansfield going cross field and then cross field again. Pretty good at moving that ball across. Hitting each other on the numbers. Not easy to do. We see a lot of games, Evan, and being able to pass the ball under pressure with efficiency is not easy to do. With elevated heart rates, too. It's certainly a great skill set to have. Keep an eye on number 33 for Mansfield, Cole Hogenkamp. He is a junior, but he'll be attending Brown University after his senior year. There's a big body out there. Mansfield working around. Ball up at the top. J.D. Marshall all over him. The sophomore. Looking inside. And then a shot from the corner. No good. Gonna stay with Mansfield. They'll start it behind the net. Ferreira on D. Williams gives it a nice whack. Say hello, how are you? That's Ferreira. Body on body. Look at that footwork. Doesn't matter the sport. He can lock in.
Well, he definitely developed that footwork in soccer. That was for sure. Some great seasons the past few years. And, back to lacrosse. One of the storylines for this season has been Trevor Ferreira playing a little bit of lacrosse his last semester here at Westwood High School.
There was a shot from the outside. There's another shot. That one is well wide. Almost hit a walker and a bystander.
Yeah, the walkers on the track.
It's a dangerous time to walk when the lacrosse games are going on because shots can come from anywhere.
Well, they may not have expected it. It's a abnormal time for a game. Normally students.
There's a shot and there's a goal, and that's the first goal of the game. Shot by Andrew DiGorlamo. One of the captains, Andrew DiGorlamo. That'll put Mansfield on the board, up 1-0.
This could be a low-scoring affair. First goal coming with just over 6.5 minutes into this game, so it's been a heavy defensive battle, and the Wolverines and both the Hornets have done good on defense. But for the Wolverines now, it's about getting an opportunity here, winning this draw control, and working it in and getting some shots on goal. They had some great opportunities in that first little run there, but need to get a few more going, and I think they can do it.
Yeah, Mansfield's a team that can just win by outscoring you. They're that talented on offense, but they have a great defense too. So you got to capitalize on your opportunities that you have and put them in the back of the net. You got a battle right there on the dot. Ball is still loose. Picked up by Mansfield. So Mansfield getting the possession as the ball that hits the turf again. Both teams battling for it. Almost picked up by Declan Murphy, who was in a stick for a second, knocked out. Really tough to do with a long stick in traffic like that, and then picked up by Mansfield. Mansfield going the other way. That's to Colimo again, and he scores again.
It's back-to-back goals for Mansfield there. That's huge for them momentum-wise. But
Didier Rolamo. back-to-back goals for him. And it all started from winning the possession on the faceoff. You know, that was it took about 30 seconds for a team to claim it. And then he picked it up, went right down Broadway, and then put it right in the back of the net. So the captain, with the first 2 goals from Mansfield, 5 minutes left here in the first quarter. Right back to the dot. Right on the W. It's interesting to watch a lacrosse game. We have an infraction, and it's going to be on Westwood, and it's going to be Mansfield ball. Interesting to watch a game this early on Flayhive. The sun definitely a factor with the glare.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you can even see it kind of on the camera here this time of the day when we film games at this hour. You know, think of the Thanksgiving Day game.
I think of the Thanksgiving game.
You have that glare to kind of deal with, and it just looks a little different when you're on there. You know, sun's probably
like graduation too.
Yep. Yeah. You know, sun right now is probably just a bit overhead. It's definitely getting there, but you know, normally on the games here it's 4 or 5 in the afternoon, so you're even 6. You know, the sun's right behind us where we usually are. Right now it's directly overhead, so it has a bit of a reflective property, so something you got to deal with.
Here comes the Samurai.
I even think when we did the interview with Rich last summer. When
big time glare. Our eyes. It's tough to look at each other in the eyes. That's a catch and shot and a goal. Beautifully done. That was well timed. Pass right to the middle. Caught and a shot on net for the goal by Will Hogenkamp. That is the younger brother of Cole Hogenkamp.
And you're going to see a timeout here for, I believe, Coach Sahuric, and going to talk it over with his guys. And yeah, right now, if you're Coach Sahuric, you know, the big thing is making some adjustments here and finding a response. Mansfield has found a groove offensively, and, you know, 3 quick goals in the last 90 seconds of play. So for the Wolverines here, it's about, you know, winning a possession here. Just do what you can to kind of slow their offensive attack.
Yep. Yeah, start with got to win the draws. You know, it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have, you know, no one really wins the clean. Just you scoop it to yourself and pick it up, and that's very hard to do. But going out and putting it in open space and getting a win, you know, and picking it up cleanly very quickly. It's hard to do. Sometimes you need to be a little physical out there, but that is key. I mean, being able to get the ball, get the possession. You can't score if you don't have the ball in your stick. And then when you do have the ball in your stick, you got to maximize that. Because Westwood could have scored the first one and then dictate the momentum. You know? So it's a game of momentum too.
Absolutely, and you know, right now Mansfield has the momentum, so hopefully that timeout can kind of slow it down a bit. You know, and settle the guys down. You know, we don't want to, you know, don't get too much in your head about this team. This is a tough team that can make runs, and you know, is right now undefeated on the season. And, you know, they're probably a little bit of the favorites here, but for the Wolverines, I think they can really, you know, if they can control the momentum and win just get a couple plays in their favor, some draw controls, they can get an opportunity here early and you know, cut this lead down to 2.
Yep. Right back to the draw. Mansfield up 3-0. 4 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Evan Cardamino, Morgan Donahue. You're watching Westwood Media Center coverage of Westwood Boys Lacrosse, and this is a ball that's heading back towards Mansfield D, and then won by Mansfield. Mansfield, very effective on the draws so far. Wolverines have had to get the ball loose to get possessions or a saves. And they're going to work it in.
And how many times?
Pass and shot, and that's another goal. Oh, no, off the post, excuse me. A lot of confusion going on right now.
There is a lot of confusion. I thought it was a goal, too,
I thought
actually.
It was a goal based off of the cheering from the fans and whatnot. And it looks like it was off post and redirected towards the sideline, and Mansfield ball.
A lucky break for the Wolverines. I saw the net move, and I thought it was a goal as well, and
yeah.
I was getting ready to reset. But, you know, that's what you need if you're the Wolverines. A little bit of luck is going to play into the game here as well.
Shot and a save by Pollock. That's a big save. Remember that one, as the Wolverines looking to get their first one to cut into. Oh, that's a physical play, and we get a late whistle. Do we have a flag?
I don't see it, but I think it's going to be an infraction at the very least on Mansfield. Yeah. So
that was a trip.
Westwood will maintain possession.
So Westwood got to get that next one, cut into it, get some momentum going on their side. That's a big save by Pollock.
Absolutely. Big save by Pollock off the play that, you know, off the post, and, you know, get some momentum back in the Wolverines' favor. Now you have possession. Now you can make something happen here with 3 minutes left in this first quarter. Can you cut this lead down to 2 and, get something going?
Yeah.
Big thing's going to be, I think, throughout this game is going to be the draw controls. Mansfield's really good at the draw controls, and they've won them all so far this game. So if you can steal a couple from the Hornets, you're going to have a better time.
Wolverine's going to work it around. Cochran and Walsh. Walsh back to Cochran. Cochran looking to shoot. He does shoot. Bounce shot saved by the Mansfield goaltender. A lot of shots from the outside, too, by the Wolverines. I feel like they got to get closer to the net.
Well, Mansfield's done a really good job of taking away the middle from the Wolverines. We saw Stuhler a couple times in that first possession that they had. He tried to work it in there, and just he had 3 or 4 Hornets all over him, swarming him. And, for the Wolverines, it's going to be a challenge. You're absolutely right. Can they find some of those plays? That's off Will Stuhler.
It stays in bounds. Funky bounce. Stuhler gets it. Nice play by Stuhler. Stuhler's got some space to the net. Looking for a guy. Finds a guy, and Cochran shot. Saved by the Mansfield goaltender. Going to stay with Westwood. But you're right. I think finding a cut or working the dodges, I think, will be key for the Wolverines.
Absolutely.
Walsh looking to shoot. That goes wide. But Sesselman well positioned. Still some outside shots. This is a great goaltender. I got an opportunity to watch his game versus Foxborough. He's going to save a lot of those shots to the outside. And if there's a guy who was one of the better dodges in the state, it's the guy right here, Liam Williams. He's going to settle it down. 1 minute 40 remaining in the first quarter. Williams passes inside. He'll work it up top. Sesselman. As they're looking to see what opening they have.
Mansfield's done a good job of taking it all away, but they're going to try to work it in there.
Cochran to Williams. Shot. That goes wide. Stuhler doing a good job in that X position. And he makes a nice move, working it towards the net. Has 2 on him. Trying to work it through. Ball gets knocked loose. And then picked up by Mansfield. Still loose. Stuhler picks it up. We have a flag in the air.
And it's going to be on Mansfield.
I think it's going to be on Westwood.
Yeah, I think it'll be on.
I think it's on Stuhler. So Stuhler going to get called. And Mansfield going to have the ball inside Westwood's territory.
But like we saw just there with Stuhler, he tried to work it in the middle and tried to work it up. And as you saw, 2 of those Hornets players just right there on him and didn't let him get there. And, able to cause a turnover and draw a penalty on Stuhler. So, that's going to be a challenge all day for the Wolverines.
Mansfield will get to work on the man up. Westwood 5D out there. Hancock, Walsh, Owens, Morshall, Williams. It's a pretty darn good unit right there. Those are guys who play physical, can get it on the ground, really good with the sticks, and keep shots on the outside. Pass inside, shot off the post, goes up in the air. Hancock gets a stick on it, then over to Owens, and then right to Pollock. Beautifully done. Ryan Williams over to Owens. Owens to Walsh. Walsh got 3 closing in on him.
Under 20 seconds now here in the first quarter, so looking to make something quick happen.
What a job by Walsh to be able to get through 3 that were trying to knock that loose, change the angle, send it up to Morshall, and beautifully done. I mean, that's how you draw it up. Killing time and keeping possession. It all started with getting the ball on the ground. And that is the end of the quarter where the score remains at 3-0. So after 1 quarter, Mansfield 3, Westwood 0.
I grew up right here in Islington, wearing the green and white for Westwood High. And those years taught me that every role matters. The unsung heroes, they complete the team. And that's at the heart of Neroli. From the cooks, to the servers, to the dishwashers, we're a team, delivering authentic Italian dishes to our community. I'm proud to sponsor our hometown teams, every player grinding it out, because I've been there. Teamwork built me. It built Neroli, and it's building Islington. So come join us for dinner, and let's cheer on our teams together.
Westwood High School Sports, brought to you by Neroli Ristorante, authentically Italian. And Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care.
Welcome back. About to kick off the second quarter. Mansfield up 3-0. And believe we are all even. Yeah, Stuhler's back on the field, so all even. Great job by the Wolverines to kill that penalty. They did a nice job getting the ball on the ground and working that breakout. And there's an infraction on Mansfield. Going to be Westwood ball. Nice job there. Bama battling for it.
That's huge for the Wolverines. They ended that last possession with the possession, so they earn it right back and, finally get a draw control here for
momentum,
them too.
Small things. You can't score a 3-point goal, but you can win a possession be on route to score your first one.
It just takes one. You just need one sometimes to get the momentum.
It's Williams. That one hit a body, I believe.
Fired it, but saved by the Mansfield goaltender.
And Mansfield looking to work their breakout. One pass and then another seam pass. That one gets knocked loose. Walsh battling for it, able to pick it up, but then picked up by Mansfield. It was knocked loose, and Mansfield able to win that back. That was picked up by long stick Mitty there. Nice job by him. Number 40, Cole Gibson. Mansfield working it in. Hancock right behind is going to force Mansfield to slow it down and set it up. Every now and then we see those drawn up plays with a player coming on the field, like the taxi plays, where you find them and they have some space, you give it to them, and it's hard to catch someone who's going at full speed right to the net. The pass inside, that one gets knocked loose, but back up there, able to get the ball, shot, and a score. How lucky was that?
Yeah, backup was in a perfect position there for Mansfield, and, right play, no one on him behind. It just goes over the head of Westwood, and shot and a score for Mansfield puts them up 4-0 now with 10:29 left in the half.
Yeah, missed a bad pass, but the other guy was right there to catch it cleanly and then take it to the net, shot, score. Mansfield has been sharp. Westwood's still trying to get their game going.
And that's what we expected from this opponent. This is a really tough team. They're going to be a team that makes a deep run in the playoffs this year for sure. And, right now they're fighting, like we said at the top of the show, where they're fighting to lock in their, trip to the tournament. So, as is Westwood, they're trying to get close to that 10-win mark. But
nice play there by Bama. And they get the win with Blaney picking it up. Nice clean. That's how you draw it up. It was a little throw it into open space. Blaney gets knocked out of his stick. And a timeout called by Todd beforehand. Unbelievable.
That's what Todd does.
Unbelievable.
But
he's got like a sense. He's got 6 cents.
You could hear him from up here. He was screaming timeout. He saw what was happening, and it's a crucial timeout. The thing is right now you're down 4-0. You're trying to get some momentum going for this team. So, it's a good timeout to burn there. You have to. You don't want to have a turnover. Mansfield's been really strong off the turnovers, especially after those goals. So, good strategic timeout for the Wolverines, but still trying to find something here.
Yeah, this game has been very strategic. The timeouts are certainly helpful with trying to draw things up, make adjustments. You've seen this team now for 12-plus minutes, and now you're able to kind of understand what's their game, what are they trying to do, and then how do you exploit that with your strengths, and what are their weaknesses?
Yeah.
If there are any. They haven't really seen any just yet. Pretty strong offensively, and really solid defense, and a good goalie.
Yeah, defensively, they take away the middle of the field. They're forcing those outside shots, and the Wolverines have done great when they've driven to the net this year. We saw that in the Holliston game. A lot of their goals came off of driving to the net, and those bounce shots right at the net, right in front of the net. So Mansfield been able to take away that zone has really hurt the Wolverines in their play. But, you know, for the Wolverines, it's just finding that weakness, like you said. Where can they exploit their defense? And, you know, it starts by getting those opportunities and winning those draw controls. So
it's going to start up on the top, right on the 30. Westwood will work it around. Wolverines got to get things going. Down 4-0 here early in the second quarter. There's a flag. And that's going to be a penalty on Mansfield. The Wolverines will have their first man-up look of the game.
And that's going to be huge for the Wolverines here now. You get your first man-up opportunity. You have a chance to get a goal here. So for the Wolverines, it's a crucial time to capitalize.
Yeah. Not going to say it's a must-score look here, but they definitely got to get going. It's still obviously very early, 10 minutes left here in the second quarter, but we've seen how quickly Mansfield can score and certainly add to their current lead. They'll start in the stick of Liam Williams as Wolverine's going to work it around. I see Williams, Walsh, and there's Williams. Shot, that goes wide. Hancock behind the net. That's something you don't see often. A long stick midi in the X position.
Trying new
well
things.
Positioned. We've seen him in the middle of in front of the net for a quick pass, quick shot. That's been he scored 2 goals doing that versus Hopkinton. That shot is a rocket. I think that might be in the deep into the woods.
Might be in the swamp, Morgan.
That'll be a tough one to
get
find, yeah. That one was airborne. Took flight. Sesselman. That ball got deflected. It's on the turf, and then Walsh able to catch it on the bounce. We're back to all even as Mansfield going to send one of the defenders back in as we're back to even strength. Walsh just outside the 20. Looking to dodge. Works it inside. Sesselman was looking for the shot, but held off. Stuhler. Little spin move. Goes one way, then spins the other. And Mansfield defense, just terrific athleticism. Able to adjust on, if they have an off angle, they're able to make up for it.
Yeah, their defense is a big reason as to why they're 9-0 this season, for sure. I mean, they've been taking away all those looks for the Wolverines, and they just haven't been able to find something yet.
Yeah, you look at the scores of their games, they're not only scoring a lot, but they're also not giving up a lot. Walsh working towards the net. Shot saved by the Mansfield goaltender. That's the best one of the day so far. It was a bounce shot in point-blank territory and a big-time save by the Mansfield goaltender there. Right back to the breakout goes the Hornets. Wolverines looking to create some pressure, knock that loose, but not much to do so. As great job by the long stick midi. Going to work it towards the net. Shot, and he scores. What an effort there. Worked it from his own zone. Michael Genovese. And then saw that space, took that space, carved right to the net and flung it. You don't see those too often. I mean, when you do see the long stick goals, it's, they don't happen often, but that was a terrific athletic effort to add to it.
Yeah, I mean, it caught Westwood sleeping a little bit there, and they've done that twice now in this game where, they just turn on the Jets and they work it in. They catch kind of the Westwood defense on their back legs, and as a result, you see a goal there for the Hornets. So
5-0. Mansfield on top. Just over 8 minutes left here in the first half. Very impressive start for the Hornets as they're looking to add to it. There's a shot from the outside and a goal. That was a nice shot off the stick of number 18, Nico Smith. And they add right to the less than 10 seconds, I'd say, from their fifth goal to their sixth goal. Quick win, went down, shot, find the back of the net, and they're up 6-0. I mean, they got a lot of publicity and a lot of attention with their 9-0 start, but well-deserved.
I mean, you're seeing why they're in the Globe top 20 or on display
10.
here.
They're
Yeah,
a top 10 team. I think they were number 6 or 8. It was one of the even numbers.
We'll have to confirm during one of the breaks, but yeah, you're seeing on display right now why this team is ranked, and this is definitely going to help their case.
Helps when you have a Brown commit on attack, and he's
Yep.
only a junior.
Yep.
Well, Westwood has theirs as well. Coast Guard commit, and that's a quick win on the draw. Going down Broadway, Wolverines with a slide. That ball goes loose, and there'll be a Westwood possession. Turnover on the missed connection. Westwood has their own commits,
Yeah.
and Will Sesselman, junior, committed to University of Albany, which is a top 20 team in the country.
Yep.
Sam Cochran going to play at Coast Guard. And I have a feeling that there's going to be more coming.
You have some inside scoops?
I know there's, players that are definitely getting on the radar and well-deserved. That ball gets loose on a seam pass, but on the backup is Sesselman who picks it up. Yeah, when you look at guys like Walsh, Stuhler, Hancock, those are guys who are certainly built to play at the next level. It'll be a big year for them, going into the summer too. They do a lot of the, the summer tournaments and whatnot. I mean, that's how Don Varneren went from Westwood High to Boston University. It was the summer going into his senior year where BU caught him down in Florida and said, "Who is this kid?" That's a shot and a save by the Mansfield goaltender. Loose ball on the far side and then clean pickup by Mansfield. And Don Varneren was looking around and then played one of the tournaments for Massachusetts down in Florida. It's Mansfield, another long stick trying to shoot it towards the net, knocked loose by the Wolverines. Beautiful play there to get the possession back. And BU was like, this kid is the real deal. And not just going from Westwood High to BU, he's a junior captain. Pretty darn impressive out of the 02090.
And he's having a great season so far for Boston University. And
Yeah, top 20 team in the country.
absolutely.
He's got some goals as a long stick midi, some highlight reel goals. He was on SportsCenter top 10.
And started right here in Westwood.
Yeah, and Ava Connaughton, less than 3 weeks later, SportsCenter top 10, both Westwood High grads. I mean, when do you see that?
I was going to say, too, you mentioned Brown, another Westwood alum, Caroline Nozzolillo, her freshman year at Brown.
Yeah, she's been playing terrific. Had a big game the other day versus, I believe, Dartmouth.
Yes.
Cochran looking for space. That shot, another save by the Mansfield goaltender. He's eaten everything that was been thrown at him.
Yeah, I was going to say, another aspect that's really worked in the Hornets' favor has been this goaltender. He's had a great game so far. He's had a lot of hard saves he's been able to make, and, really slowing down that Westwood offensive attack.
Yeah, and here we go. Long stick midi, had some space. Nice job by the Wolverines to close that gap. When you have a stranglehold with your defense like that, you're going to kind of make a team play differently. So Westwood they've been forcing some shots as opposed to trying to find the best look. And he saved every single one of them.
I mean, and you're seeing that too. They're taking almost all of their shots have been from outside the crease at this point. I believe, actually, if we were to look at it, it'd be all of them.
I think Walsh had one that was in close, and that was it.
But, when you have a good goaltender and a strong defense like Mansfield does, and they can take away the crease and the close zone and force those outside shots, those are low probability shots that,
This is the guy to keep an eye on. This is the Brown commit. He's sent it inside. Great job by the Wolverine D. They knock it loose. Hancock picks it up, and he's going to put it in the crease for Pollock. Pollock going right to the clear pass and on the money to Williams. That is something that Pollock has been fantastic with this year, is those clears. He throws it right on the money. It's like, Drake May to, Hunter Henry, right up the seam, and it's in step too. So it's absolutely beautiful. He's worked very hard on that too. So it's great to see all of that work paying off. Walsh looking inside. He's got O'Brien towards the net. That shot goes wide.
Just over the post.
And is that going to stay with Is that going to go to Mansfield or stay with Westwood? Looks like some confusion. Going to stay with Westwood. So Sesselman picks it up. Sesselman on the far side. Goes Will to Will. Will Sesselman to Will Stuhler. Cochran trying to get something closer to the net. Here comes Williams. He's got some space off the face mask. That was a close look. I mean, Williams, great dodge. Got close to the net, but not great of an angle. He had it on his left side.
No, but it wasn't the greatest angle, but I like that shot selection. Drove right to the net.
Oh,
there it is.
There's the shot. That's the heat. That's the fastball from Williams as he puts that under the bar for Westwood's first goal and to get him on the board. Don't let them get hot, folks. Westwood can score pretty quickly, and they can score in bunches. And they may have just, greased the wheels a little bit with that goal.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it earlier in the show as well. You think about that playoff game. Westwood started off hot and let Mansfield come right back. So, we could see a little bit of history repeat itself here. But
yeah, it was a 7-2 lead at halftime in that playoffs 2 years ago. And then it was essentially 6 unanswered that Mansfield had, and Westwood didn't score any in the second half, where they came away with the win.
Anything can happen if Westwood finds it. Mansfield wins the draw there, but if Westwood can find a groove, anything can happen here.
So Mansfield wins the draw. Stick of Cole Hogenkamp. The Ivy League schools have become hotbeds for lacrosse. Harvard, top 10 team. Brown, I believe, top 10 team. Cornell, did they win the national championship last year?
I believe they did. I have to double check.
Absolute hotbeds. And then, you have the schools like Duke. Duke is always, John Hopkins, some great schools that are tops in the country, not only just for athletics, but academics. Did Pollock get a piece of that? I think it just went wide. That's going to stay with Mansfield with 2 minutes and 50 remaining here in the first half. The Hornets up 6-1 on the Wolverines on a beautiful day at Flay High Field. We earned this one. It was a winter of a ton of snow accumulation.
All the snow. Parking at the ice house wasn't very fun this year.
Oh, gosh.
Especially towards the end.
Yeah. Where there's not much parking, so we had to park almost a mile away and walk with gear.
It's always a little worse at the end of the year. More people start to show up.
Great job by Owens, able to get a stick on that. Well, Wolverines able to pick that up. Yes, great job, Gio Sabgini. The Wolverines that's gonna stay with the Wolverines. So that was an infraction on Mansfield. A great play by Gio Sabgini, the senior.
And that's going to be huge for the Wolverines here. If they can maintain possession for the next 2 minutes, we're coming up on halftime. You don't want, if you're Westwood, you don't want to give possession back to Mansfield here if you can help it, unless you're scoring and they win a draw control, because like that right there, because they're going to have 2 minutes here to make something happen and make you think about it during halftime.
A couple risky passes by both teams. There's Williams picking it up cleanly. Makes that look effortlessly. I can't tell you how difficult that is to do with the long stick in traffic nonetheless. Gonna settle it down with Blaney. That hits a body and hits the turf. Picked up by Mansfield. Both teams not very careful right now, and then picked up by Sesselman. So both teams not really measuring twice, cutting once with their passes. That's how we do our housework, Evan. Measuring twice, cut once.
Absolutely.
Checklist manifesto. It's the importance of, and throwing a fake in there every now and then.
Right. Keep Mansfield on their toes here. You have about 1:11 now and counting here. Can you get something happening last time? Last time they had 20 seconds. They just missed getting a shot off. So I think they're going to learn from their mistakes here in that first quarter and try to get something before the end of this half.
Oh, what a catch by Sesselman. He had to go up and get that with one hand. What an impressive athletic feat as he's working it towards the net. Bounce shot saved by the Mansfield goaltender. My goodness. He's probably had about 12, 13 shots, and he's only had one go past him.
Quite the impressive performance so far for the Mansfield goaltenders. Mansfield just keeps it in bounds there.
Oh, he stepped out of bounds.
So there he did.
Westwood will have the ball, or did they call a timeout? So they
might have. Oh, wow, they got a timeout.
He called a timeout before he stepped out of bounds. So a timeout call with 31.2 remaining here in the half.
It was a great call. I mean, that pass was just a little errant, a little over his head. He kept it in bounds, but I think you're right. Mansfield coach saw he was dancing on the sideline there. Good timeout by them. And
Todd Zaharik isn't the only coach that has great timeouts.
Absolutely.
The Mansfield coach showing his timeout skills. But you know what? It's not just a good timeout for keeping the possession. It's a good timeout because there's 30 seconds left. How do you maximize that time? What's the look you're going to go to? Maybe give the guys a breather so they have some fresh legs. So it's a well-timed timeout, especially, if you don't use it, you lose it for the first half. So, got to give kudos to the Mansfield coach for the timing and also, the being able to do that under pressure.
I think you're going to see Mansfield try to draw something up here, too, that's going to keep Westwood on their toes. They've had really great offensive success when they keep Westwood kind of guessing and they catch them on their back, the back burner. So for Mansfield, expect to see them, bring something out here that you might not expect. Say maybe turn the Jets on when you least expect it with 30 seconds left. This is a fast team. So, if you can find an open guy and Westwood isn't there and you can get him, chasing you, you're going to have a great opportunity to the net. So,
yeah, you might see multiple cuts. We'll see. Do they open up the lane for a dodge attempt? What we're going to see, though, is Will Stuhler, Will Sesselman create some havoc up top when the whistle is blown to try and knock that ball loose.
Yeah, Westwood.
Now we're going to see Sesselman going off towards another player, and it's a free walk-in. So comes Hancock, keeps players to the outside. Number 5, 20 seconds and counting. Gonna send it down low. Working it with the big guy, number 33. He's going to work it towards the net. Great job by the Wolverines. They had some pressure on him and then picked up by Mansfield, and they're going to throw it in the back of an empty net. I don't think Pollock knew where the ball was.
Nope.
The shot by 33 hit the side of the net, kind of just hovered there, picked up by the ex-player to then find a crashing player to put that in the back of the net.
Yeah, I think Pollock lost the ball a little bit there, and like you mentioned, player crashes the net. Great heads-up play by Mansfield. They see an open guy heading right in front of the net, and Pollock was just off to the near side of that net to us, and heads-up play, and it's a brutal timing on that shot with 2 seconds left in the half. They're going to have to think. Westwood's going to have to think about that one during halftime.
Big goal for Mansfield. Tough goal for Westwood.
We
right
talk
before
about
right at the end, 2 seconds left, and 7th goal. 6-1 sounds a lot better than 7-1.
Yeah, we talk about that all the time. Those are the type of goals that you want to be on the scoring end of, and not the getting scored on end. So it's a tough goal for the Wolverines, but huge for Mansfield as they head into halftime with a lot of momentum.
Yeah, that is where things are going to stay as we go into the half. Mansfield 7-1 lead over the Wolverines. Evan, any final thoughts before we kick the break?
The Wolverines just have to find something offensively and find their groove, and if they can find a weakness in that Mansfield defense, they're going to have a better time in the second half.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we'll take a quick break. Stick around. Second half action kick off in a little bit. You're watching Westwood Media Center coverage of Westwood Boys Lacrosse.
I grew up right here in Islington, wearing the green and white for Westwood High. And those years taught me that every role matters. The unsung heroes, they complete the team. And that's at the heart of Neroli. From the cooks, to the servers, to the dishwashers, we're a team, delivering authentic Italian dishes to our community. I'm proud to sponsor our hometown teams, every player grinding it out, because I've been there. Teamwork built me. It built Neroli, and it's building Islington. So come join us for dinner, and let's cheer on our teams together.
Westwood High School Sports, brought to you by Neroli Ristorante, authentically Italian. And Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care.
Welcome back, folks. Both teams on the field to kick off the second half. Mansfield, they're everything. All world in the first half. 7-1 lead. Goaltender was absolutely outstanding. Having, I'd say 12, 13 saves. I don't have the official stats, but I'll get those after the game.
Absolutely.
But what a effort by him to keep Westwood, who, in my opinion, one of the most potent offenses in the state, at bay with only 1 goal in the first half.
Yeah, if you're the Wolverines right now, you got to first win the draw control, but second,
Ball goes up in the air.
just make some
Some
adjustments.
contact. Both teams still battling for it, then picked up by Mansfield. Oh, Hancock gets the stick up high, and he's going to get called for the flag as he gets the ball knocked loose on the ground, but he's going to take a seat.
He's up the came out a little more intense, a little more fired up the physicality, you know. I mean, hey, right now you got to find something to slow the Mansfield Hornets down. You know, obviously you don't want to go on the man down and have penalties, but, you know, you got to slow them down somehow.
Yeah. So Hancock is going to trot off the field, and Mansfield will go on the man up. 19 seconds into the second half here. Looking to add to their 7-1 lead. Evan Carter, Morgan Donahue, Westwood Media Center coverage of Westwood Boys Lacrosse. And we are going to get a look here at Westwood's penalty kill. Mansfield so effortlessly able to move that ball around.
Yeah, their passing's really great. I mean, they
strikes.
They throw strikes. They're quick. They're efficient. They find players open like that. Take a shot, and there's a goal for Mansfield.
Yeah.
Puts them up 8-1 now. But it's that right there that Westwood's struggling to find a way to stop is Mansfield's great passing on offense. They're finding guys. They're taking their time. They're just looking for the open player, and it's right there. And you know, they're getting good looks and good opportunities and leads. So now it's an 8-1 lead there for the Mansfield Hornets. So Westwood looking to get a draw control here and, you know, get something going here.
That was just filth. They sent that to the guy right in front of the net who drew about 2 or 3 guys, and then sent that. He just quick catch, pass out to the outside, and had that guy to be able to walk in for a nice hard shot. I mean, that is just that is skill. That is practice. That is a lot of stuff involved on that goal.
Yeah, and it was just a great draw by the offense, too, by that passing. You know, Westwood gets to a point where they start chasing after the ball. They think they have a good angle on it, and it leaves a guy open like that. And you saw it there, just a guy left open on the behind the Westwood players. And by the time they turn around and get ready for it, they're driving the net. It's a shot and a goal.
Mm-hmm. Mansfield wins the possession.
And how many times have we talked about it in broadcast previous, Morgan, especially when, you know, talking about Jenny Mackin on the girls' team, winning, controlling the possession, control a game, and, you know, Mansfield putting it on full display there. One of the best draw controllers I think we've faced all year. It's a nice move by Mansfield, but it's one of those aspects of the game that you don't think about until you get into situations like this.
Nope. Yeah, the draw is so important. And that's pass inside, and that's another goal. He took a big hit, too.
And he's fired up.
Back of the net. A 9-1 lead for the Hornets.
I don't blame him for being fired up. Took a big hit, stayed in there, took it, and like you said, a 9-1 lead now for the Hornets with 10:30 left in the third quarter. You know, they're kind of pulling away with this one here.
And Westwood going to get called for the hit.
So is that going to put them on the man down here?
Yeah, so they'll be on the man down, and there'll be no face-off. They'll have the possession, and Westwood will be down a man.
That's a huge blow for the Wolverines there. And
be called on J.D. Marshall. I mean, that middle of the field, when you throw it down there, I mean, that's traffic area. There's going to be a hit, but you're going to say an illegal hit.
Yeah, it was a bit, I think, a bit too physical there, and you saw the
You may have said it came after the shot. I mean, who knows?
I mean, he did, yeah, I think it was a little late. I'm not too sure. I'll have to check the replay, but still a tough deal of the cards for the Wolverines.
And that ball hit something. Walsh picks it up. He then gets pushed down. That should be a whistle.
You're going to see a flag there. So.
That flag went airborne, hit the top of the net.
Walsh gets up. He appears to be okay.
It was an impressive throw by the near side official with the flag. That went, 30, 40 feet in the air and then hit the crossbar.
Yeah, you think the officials practice that at home?
Oh,
when they're,
you got to, yeah.
You have to have a certain.
I would. I'd be doing it in the mirror, making sure. How's my flag toss?
If you were a football ref, would you be practicing your
100%.
The motions,
like the false start, the legal procedure, personal foul. I would be 100% practicing that. Get the audio going too. Yeah. Make sure it's like assertive,
Yeah. You have the mic pack that the NFL refs have.
Yeah.
And you just
make sure it's on and make sure it's off at the right moments.
Right.
So that penalty is going to negate the man up for Mansfield. We got a very expensive camera on the far sideline, Evan. That's got to be what? Globe or Herald, do you think? He's got the cover, too.
He's got the monopod. He's got the...
Look at you showing off with your technical terms. What's a monopod? Is that the cover?
No, monopod's a form of a tripod. So if you look over here, I have monopod, one stick versus a tripod. And that looks like a...
Is there
trying to guess on the lens, but I really can't tell from here. But it's definitely a
monopod.
telephoto lens.
I'm going to use that today in a sentence and impress someone.
Well, tomorrow I'll be at the Westwood Athletic Alumni Golf Tournament, and I'll have the monopod with me for the photos. So
I'm going to say, can you guys stand here for Evan with the monopod? That is, I'm going to add that.
Yeah,
that's
add that to
my list.
To the lexicon.
There was one word I learned like a couple weeks back, natatorium.
I couldn't tell you that word.
It is a building that hosts an indoor pool.
Oh.
So natatorium. So it was one of those where I was just like, it stuck in my head.
Yeah.
There's certain words and you're like, all right.
Natatorium?
I'm going to just use it in random sentences.
Well, you used it on the broadcast, so there you go. Word of the day here.
I think it was natatorium. Yeah, I'm 90% sure. I have it correct. I have been wrong. I've been known to be wrong. So officials trying to figure out all the different comings and goings, and looks like it's 2 people in the box for Mansfield to Westwood's 1. So Westwood will be on the man up. It's going to carve into the 9-1 Mansfield lead.
Yeah, I wonder if that was almost a, not to speculate too much, but I wonder how much of that might have been a potential sort of retaliatory thing. Westwood had been getting a little too physical, and, Mansfield looking to defend their guys. And, it's one of those things where you don't want to, you guys are a team. You want to make sure your guys are,
There's a Walsh goal. Greg Walsh, not to be confused with Liam Walsh, gets the second goal for the Wolverines on a rocket. Greg Walsh, his 100th point the other night in the first round game of the Chowder Cup. And then jokingly, Westwood, when they had mentioned Sam Cochran's 100th and Greg's, they said Sam Cochran and Liam Walsh.
Yep.
So I said, was that you, Owen? He was, yeah. It was a long day, So that might be his new nickname is Gregory Liam.
Maybe. But a question now, Morgan, because you know lacrosse a little better than I. Does that only send one Mansfield player out of the penalty box, or does that?
Yes. So I just see one. So
Westwood still. I think unless the Westwood player's still on the penalty, which I think that might be the case. No, it's not. I think Westwood is clear. So Westwood's still on the man up here.
Yeah, but they got to take the face off though.
Right.
So the face off still has to be drawn. It looks like Hancock's going to take the draw.
Has CJ been practicing that?
He is more of he's just going to start whacking. So he's going to whack until someone comes and tries to, get there to help out. But he's good at getting the ball on the ground.
He is. We saw that in the Holliston game.
That's a shot and a save by Pollock. So that's big because it was a couple. I don't know why they didn't hold on to it, but Westwood, if they can hurry, they can still take advantage of the man up. But it looks like we are all even now. Nice pass up to Walsh. Walsh crosses the 50. He's got one closing in. Makes a nice stop and start move to avoid that rush. And Westwood beautifully able to settle the ball down in the offensive zone. He looks like Hancock going to work his way into the offensive zone. He might work his way towards the front of the net. So they are still on the man up. So that's why. So still on the man up. Wolverines looking to take advantage, but ball hits the turf. And clean pickup by Mansfield. And it looks like a timeout called. So that's a Todd Zaharik-like timeout again for Mansfield to call it just when the ball looks like it might have been a 50-50 ball. Mansfield's going to stay with it, and they'll be able to have a clean breakout as well.
And you'll see in the background, Morgan, the second game for the Chowder Cup here is just arriving and getting ready to warm up. It's a great time of the year for the Wolverines. They've played in this tournament for a few years now, and like we mentioned earlier, this is the first year that Westwood has hosted it here. So
we've had a lot of mileage over the years for the Chowder Cup. We've done Falmouth, we've done Cohasset, we've done Scituate High, we've done Hanover.
Yep, I believe on
Marshfield.
Saturday it'll be Scituate again. So
yeah. Beautiful this time of year.
Yeah.
Go to the Mill Wharf. You gotta see. I mean, you went to Cape Cod for the first time in the hockey game.
Yeah, I'd like to go
see the South Shore.
I'd like to maybe go to the Cape this year for not
gorgeous.
In the winter. I think the Cape would look a lot better in July versus February. But
the Cape is. You were talking about the podcast. They have.
The Cape Cod Baseball League, the Boston Sports Nuts. Our podcast is hosted by Paul Izzo, Ken Berman, and Jim Russo. Paul and Jim are a part of the Cape Cod Baseball League's Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox organization. Paul, the president.
That's awesome.
Jim, I don't know his exact title, but he does a lot of the media stuff for the Cape Cod Baseball League. So they're just as not only are they a bunch of guys who like sports, they're in it. They live it.
They have skin in the game.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, the Cape League baseball, for just the history of it, the players who have gone through. I mean, Mike Trout, some of the best went through the Cape Leagues during the summer.
Chris Sale was a Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox. I looked up once a list of the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox specifically because I know if I had to pick a team, I'd pick them just by my association with Paul and Jim.
They won you over.
Yeah, a little bit. But, they also famously, 20 years ago, introduced the donut burger. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but that's them.
My goodness.
I don't know if you've ever seen it. They have a glazed donut, jelly donut, and a chocolate glazed for their options. And
with the burger?
With the burger.
That is fantastic. That sounds like it needs to be on, what is it, Diners and Dives?
Yeah, with Guy Fieri.
Guy Fieri.
It sounds like it would take me out for a day. But
stick broken by Walsh. He's going to have to run off the field. But West is doing a good job to force an overthrow on the pass. Mansfield picks it up.
Huge play to back off there by the Wolverines, unless they're going to call it now. I'm not too sure. But huge play on number 10 for the Wolverines. I believe that is
Ryan
Owens, yes.
Owens, yeah.
Owens backed off there when that Mansfield player draw. If he didn't back off there, they're calling another penalty on the Wolverines because he was right on top of him when he fell, and they would have called that. So smart heads-up play by him and to prevent the penalty from the Wolverines and to help slow that Mansfield attack down.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a broken stick. You don't see that happen often, but
no.
They do break. Not as much as hockey.
No.
Broken stick a game. Mansfield going to maintain the possession. They still have a sizable lead, 9-2, as they have the scoreboard and the clock on their side, as they will be a lot more methodical with their movement to just kill some clock while they're looking to score versus trying to rush any looks.
Well, there's also probably a part of them that wants to get to that 10-point lead mark if they can, because that's when you'll have a running clock. And the clock right now will still stop if they score a goal here and have to do a face-off. But if they get to that 10-point lead, clock will run during face-offs, and that's kind of probably where they want to get as a team. Have a great way to coast out of here and move on to the final round of the Chowder Cup. But if you're well, then that's going to help their effort there. That was quite the goal by Mansfield. He off the back foot, fell while he was shooting it and scored there to put them in double-digit territory. So, Mansfield is continuing their attack here with 7:17 left in this third quarter. And that
was the guy, Cole Hogenkamp, Brown commit, and big body. I think he's a tight end, too, in football. He's just a big guy that, able to get a lot of goals, taking it to the net.
Well, he's putting on full display right now for the fans here at Flay High Field why he's going to Brown and why he's committed as a junior. And he's had quite the game so far, and you can see it. His talent's very clear. And, Brown has a player coming for him, that's for sure. So
he's an exceptional player. So right back to the W. Ball goes airborne, but it's on the Mansfield side. They'll get the possession. The draw control goes to Mansfield. Both teams, Kelly green when it comes to their uniform. Wolverines in their home whites, but when they play on the road, they wear the greens. That shot was that save or blocked?
I think that was blocked by Pollock. I think he got a foot or a leg on it.
Yeah. And we get a Wolverine player hits the turf. That's going to be a flag.
There's that penalty that we talked about. I think the refs are looking for that specifically. It doesn't necessarily matter if you push, but if you're having a lot of contact there, when that player hits the turf, they're calling it right now. So that's why I mentioned earlier it's smart on Ryan Owens when he backed off there, because even if he's not intentionally pushing the guy, that's something that these refs have been calling. So it's a heads-up play by the Wolverines, and they're going to have to continue to play like that. Unfortunately, it means they're going to have to play a little less aggressive, which we're not really in the situation right now where they kind of want to do that. So, it's an opportunity here for the Wolverines to get another goal, they bring it within 7 and maybe slow this Mansfield attack right now, but yeah.
Miscommunication there, and that's going to go out of bounds. That's going to go right back in the stick of Mansfield.
Yeah, it's a tough break for the Wolverines there, and I believe we are I don't think we're all even yet.
So Mansfield going to let clock tick as they're down a man. Westwood's got to get on them and try and knock that thing loose.
Absolutely. Westwood's got to step up the aggression and, you know, find something here and you know, slow them down. But like you said, Mansfield right now in full control of this game, they're just going to play their game, and they're going to play, you know, let that clock tick. Now at the halfway mark of the third quarter, as we have 6 minutes left here, you know, they're in full control. They probably want to get a couple more goals if they can, but, you know, if not, they're in a position where they're happy.
Looking for an open look. That shot, bounce shot. And they score.
Yeah. Great look from the outside, too. It was a distant shot, probably 15 yards out, but
Tommy Villette, senior midfielder, with the goal there. And that puts Mansfield one away from being up 10 and have the clock on their side. And a running clock.
absolutely.
I'm not sure if they scored that down, a player.
I think they
Might have expired. I don't see anyone in the box, so it may have been all even then.
Oh, and Mansfield will win the draw control there and continue to keep their foot on the gas.
Mansfield came here with some purpose today.
Yeah, they absolutely did. When we came fired up, you know, we were, I was here before the game setting up, and, you know, they were fired up just as much as Westwood came out fired up. And, you know, they travel well, too. The Mansfield faithful was out here early, actually. Yeah. I noticed there was a
lot of parents in the stands.
Good crowd for them. So
well before the game started.
You know, one of those teams that travels well. I'm sure it's a little easier with school break this week.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's... You know, that's what you like to see. You like to have it when we have a good crowd here at Flay Hive.
Yeah, nice little buzz.
Also worth noting, a lot of the members of the girls lacrosse team here to support the boys.
Pass inside, looking for Sebi O'Brien, tries to throw it towards the net. He takes a hit, and that's going to stay with Westwood. He was just outside the crease. Didn't catch it cleanly, but then picked it cleanly and tried to go kind of fork it towards the net. He took a hit. That will keep the possession with Westwood. Here comes Liam Williams. Liam Williams trying to work off the long stick D. He does. He's going to set it up outside. Work his left. Shot left. Bounce shot. That goes over the net.
It's a good look by Williams there. You like to see him taking those bounce shots, but like you said, just a little too much mustard on it, right over the net. It will be Westwood possession still, though, so still plenty of time to have to make something happen here.
Yep. Cochran going to start off with it in the X. Stuhler to Sesselman behind the back. That goes just outside the post. Cochran, ball gets knocked loose on the ground and then picked up by Mansfield.
Yeah, Mansfield defense has been all over them today, and they've been getting crucial turnovers, and they're going to turn on the Jets here and try to work it down. And, you know, this is where you see them try to catch Westwood sleeping. And they do. And that's a goal for 34 for Mansfield. And that's exactly what they're good at. That's what they've done this whole game is they have, you know, found the points in the game where, you know, Westwood's not ready for it. They're expecting them to maybe settle it down and, you know, just set up their offense. But no, right there, catch them sleeping and catch them off guard, and there's a shot and a goal, and that puts them up 10. So no running clock yet. So
12-2 with 3:24 remaining. We're going to see Declan Murphy taking the draw. Caleb Fengler going to be on the near side wing. Connor Blaney up on the top far side wing. Yeah, I'm surprised didn't see the clock running.
Maybe it's not 10 points. Maybe I'm wrong. Historically, I've always thought it was 10,
Yeah.
but I'm no rules expert. I never claimed to be, so don't hold me to it.
Mansfield with another draw control. They've been dominant on the draws today, which have been pivotal with a lot of the goals they've scored. Have the 12-2 lead.
Absolutely. I mean, that's where it starts. I mean, control the draw control, win the draw control, and you can control the game, and they've done just that.
Ball down low, and then in the middle, and a net front shot and a net front goal to put them up 13-2.
Morgan, I believe I just heard a fan say that the mercy rule would be 12, not 10. So that could be, we'll have to watch if they score their 14th point here, but I just heard that through the headsets because these headsets are quite good. And I'd like to thank Dedham Savings for helping us, providing us a grant earlier this year to help get these headsets.
Yes.
We were talking about it earlier. We can hear everything with these. So.
Oh, yeah. These things are money. These have been an unbelievable upgrade. And they're also terrific, too, on the Westwood Living Sports Show.
They are. I'm a big fan of the double ear. You know, we used to have the one ear and the open ear, and you know those were good, and we got our use and our mileage out of them. But you know, it's a little easier to hear each other when we have these headsets on. I know you prefer them. I like them. So, you know, once again, thank you to Dedham Savings earlier this year, provided us a grant. You know, we affectionately have coined it the Dedham Savings broadcast booth. So
that was about 40 seconds of both teams trying to get the ball possession. Mansfield able to pick it up after both teams was going back and forth. It's almost like watching those fumbles in the NFL.
Yeah,
where you're trying to see both teams pick it up and it, you know, was kicked around for, you know.
That classic Super Bowl with the Raiders where they kicked it in the back of the end zone, I believe. So, yeah, it's one of those plays. You know, that's what Mansfield's trying to do, catch them off guard. You know, if you can get it real quick, they're trying to fight for that because, you know, they had a great opportunity. They drove it right to the net. Not a lot of guys back on defense for Westwood. Just a bit high for Mansfield there. So, you know, saves a goal for Westwood. But that's what they've done great all game.
That pass.
Stolen.
Misconnected. And then Williams picks it up. He's got 3 on him. And it was knocked loose. Mansfield able to get it back. Westwood had a couple attempts trying to whack it loose, but Mansfield able to keep it in the stick.
That was Ryan Williams, the other half of the Williams brothers duo that has been so pivotal for this Westwood lacrosse team the past few years in this team. And he's been we call Liam a lot more because he's more offensive, and I believe Ryan plays defense. But, you know, both brothers have made their impact on this team. Also worth noting for Ryan Williams in the past, he has filmed games for Westwood Media Center, so
yeah,
I always give him a shout-out when
absolutely.
we cover his games on lacrosse.
Mansfield just killing some clock here. About a minute and a half has gone by since they've had that possession. We're inside
32
seconds starting now, so inside 30 remaining here in the third quarter.
Sure, Mansfield looking to get one of those goals like they did in the second half where you get something last minute and hold, you know, last second here. And
it's a turnover, going to be Westwood ball. Clock stopped at 21 seconds, so the equivalent to the 2-minute drill in football, the 20-second drill here on lacrosse.
Let's see if Jaden here launches it downfield, if you can find a guy open.
12 seconds.
Finds Walsh,
but not able to connect on it. 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2.
And they're just going to run it out.
1. That's going to do it for the third quarter. Much like the first half, third quarter was all Mansfield. Westwood with 1 goal. Mansfield with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goals in the second quarter to where we're at 13-2. So So we'll take a quick break, folks. You're watching Westwood Media Center coverage of Westwood Boys Lacrosse. Be right back.
I grew up right here in Islington, wearing the green and white for Westwood High. And those years taught me that every role matters. The unsung heroes, they complete the team. And that's at the heart of Neroli. From the cooks, to the servers, to the dishwashers, we're a team, delivering authentic Italian dishes to our community. I'm proud to sponsor our hometown teams, every player grinding it out, because I've been there. Teamwork built me. It built Neroli, and it's building Islington. So come join us for dinner, and let's cheer on our teams together.
Westwood High School Sports brought to you by Neroli Ristorante, authentically Italian. And Arch Orthodontics, creating generations of beautiful smiles with expert orthodontic care.
All right, welcome back, folks. Fourth quarter about to get underway.
You can see behind the benches the two next teams arriving. You know, at 12 o'clock, you have Cohasset and Scituate playing here at Flahi Field for the next matchup for this Chowda Cup.
Both those teams, top 20 teams in the globe. That'll be a heck of a game. Scituate, I believe, was the state champion last year for Division III. Always a perennial when it comes to state championships in lacrosse.
Cohasset, some history with you in football, Morgan. I know you played them, I believe.
Back-to-back years in the playoffs.
Yeah, so.
Talking to John Cronin the other day. He was telling me he was at the Cohasset game my junior year. I go, wait, you were at that game? That was the coldest game ever. He goes, that was the coldest game he's ever been to. You know, so he's played in some games, but frozen, solid ground. Had to take cleats off and put sneakers on. It was that cold for traction. I mean, the cleats with the metal bottoms and everything were sliding.
Absolutely. And
like you were on ice.
I mean, you could tell just watching that game on the VHS tape, which I have a little bit of the footage from. It looked cold. I don't envy you, but, you know, it's probably worth it at the end of that game when you had a trip to the Super Bowl as a result.
MIA brought heaters, which was cool. It was the one, like, just caveat to it was the heaters were pretty warm when you were off the field.
Yeah.
Mansfield, when that possession looking inside, that ball gets jarred loose, but back up there by number 11 to pick up the ground ball. Thomas Donovan. I continue to work it around. Cole Hogenkamp. He's been pretty impressive. Mention him. He's attending Brown University.
Yeah, Hogenkamp's been really one of the stars of the show for Mansfield, and he's put on full displays. You're going to get a penalty there. I believe it's going to be on Westwood and put them down a man and give Mansfield an opportunity here to put this one just out of reach for the Wolverines.
Yeah, that's on. Be called on, I believe, on Sesselman. I'm going to say it's a push.
There's a couple substitutions for the Wolverines here, and Mansfield looking to capitalize.
They've had a bunch of man-ups today, and they have a really good look. They can move that ball around effectively. They find that open guy, and there is the open guy.
And quickly getting that 14th point, and now you're going to see the clock run, and that will put them in that possession. So they're going to work to run the clock out, get out of this game, and look to move on to the final round of the Chowda Cup.
Anthony DeLesso. And that clock is running. So the 12-goal lead is the running clock lead. That won't stop until Westwood scores and makes it an 11-goal lead.
Yeah, and if you're Westwood, maybe you want to do that. You want to, fight for to figure something out. You know, it's a
Well,
what can you build on?
What are some takeaways that you can take with the next 9:28 that are positive? It's a quick win by Mansfield.
I mean, absolutely too. You know, this is a probably one of the toughest teams Westwood has faced all year, and you know, part of it for them is what can you learn from this game and take out of this and continue to improve. This is a good team. You know, you don't want to let the score fool you, but at the same time, there's a lot of lessons to learn from this game, and what can you apply and do differently and work on in practice and get ready for that next round of the Chowder Cup. This does not throw them out of the tournament. They will play another team to be determined based on the results of today, but as that's their 15th goal now for the Mansfield Hornets.
It's DeLesso again.
But you know, the big thing is what can you find now with the remaining 8:45 to go here to kind of work on and improve upon, and what do you need to, you know, adjust? And you know, Coach Zahurik, we've known him for a few years now, and he's very good at making those adjustments and working on those things. I'm sure he has a laundry list of notes that he wants to work on, and they will continue to work on those and make those improvements.
Discipline is key too. When you have games that are already, you know, out of reach. You know, you don't want to do anything dumb, you know, bad penalties or penalties that will be, you know, missed games, things like that. These are the type of games where things can get out of hand. So it's going to be an infraction on the faceoff. Westwood will have the possession. But typically, you know, from my coaching hockey days, you want to remind the kids, you know, hey, stay focused, don't do anything dumb.
Yeah.
You know,
you still have another non-league game coming up in 2 days. You still have plenty of games left this season.
That's a goal by Williams. So I don't know how that found the back of the net. It looked like it might have gone in after a couple ricochets off the players in the crease area, but that is the second goal for Liam Williams.
It caught everyone off guard, I think. But that will still keep it at 12, though, so the clock will continue to run. But like you said, you know, it's what can you find that's positive for this team, and, you know, can you find some takeaways from this game that you can work on?
Sebby O'Brien on the draw. Mansfield wins the possession. It's the clock now at 7 minutes remaining here in the game. Both teams getting some of the depth in there now.
Yeah. You know, it's a great experience, too, for some of your younger guys. You know, it's something that Coach Zahurik has done well over the years. You know, we saw guys that we talk about now all the time, like Stuhler, Sesselman, Hancock, who got in a lot of playing time in their early underclassmen years. So this is a great opportunity for them against a really tough opponent. Get some experience. You know, you're going to need that come playoff time. So,
Mike Zafiropoulos out there. He knocked that ball loose, but you say it was a fraction. We'll stay with Mansfield. And work it up top. Looking down low, they got an open guy. Shot, saved by Pollock. That was a point-blank look. And a nice save there by Pollock. Charlie Silver with the shot. And Westwood able to move that ball up pretty quickly. As Williams sends it off to Cochran. Cochran working in the middle. And then back to Williams with the rocket that goes over the net. And that one is, oh, is it a goner? Did it get a bounce? Oh,
I think
favorable bounce off the tree. And now it's on the track. That was quite the ricochet. Here comes Williams again. He's got 2 on the day. Stuhler, spinorama. Looks up top to Cochran. Cochran trying to create some space. Will go lefty. Shot and a save. Ball comes loose. Dempsey then puts it in the back of the net.
Great play by Dempsey to be there, you know, at the right time. You know, it's a great save by the goalie for Mansfield, but doesn't get it in the net. You know, it comes right back to him, and there's a shot and a goal for Dempsey. So smart heads-up play there. And like we said, that's something that the Wolverines can use to build off of. And, you know, having those types of heads-up play and being in the right position at the right time to get those ricochets and the second chance opportunities. I know it's something we talk a little more about in hockey, you know, being in the right position for those saves, but it can apply in lacrosse as well.
So that is, the clock is running, even though it's a 15-4 game.
I wonder if it changes to.
Yeah, maybe it's a certain time in the game if it's. That ball gets loose. Who had the possession?
I believe it's going to stay with Mansfield here, and it will. But yes, like you said, clock continues to run here at Flay Hive. Just that 4 now left in the game.
And we're going to see a lot of this the last 4, just killing that clock where the Hornets will be on to the finals
Yeah. So
for the Chowder Cup.
an excellent performance by them today, and you know, you got to tip your hats to them. They came out here and really earned it, and you see why they're one of the toughest teams in all of Massachusetts at lacrosse. So.
Well, they're 9-0 for a reason, going to be 10-0. And that's another goal there for the Hornets.
And we mentioned at the top of the show as well, you know, with this win, that'll put them at 10 wins on the year, which means they have locked themselves into the MIAA playoffs
in April.
So what an impressive start to their season.
It's wild to have 10 games already scheduled in April, but 10 wins is outstanding.
Absolutely, and they, you know, now they can really take the time as a team to. Of course, you don't want to, you know, let the season get away from you, but you also have the time to, now that you're locked into the playoffs, you can focus on a lot of the fundamentals and getting a lot of the guys the experience and getting them more ready for the rest of the season, getting some guys experience, getting them good playing time and good reps. So, you know, for Mansfield, it's a great position to be in for them. And the Wolverines, still plenty of, you know, season left. Only this game would drop them to 7-2. Still a lot of season left to lock that in as well, and they've had a great season so far. But definitely some things that they got to learn from and take away and continue to improve upon. Knowing this team, they definitely will.
Yeah, no question. Going to be a learning experience.
You know, sometimes you need games like this as well, where you, you know, you have to learn a little bit about yourself and learn how you respond in the face of adversity. You know, you're not every team's going to be. You're not going to always be on the opposite end of games like these. You're not always going to have those. Mercy time rule wins. So for the Wolverines, that's a great way to learn and see what you're made of.
Under 2 minutes remaining. Well, like you said, rare that we've seen a Chowder Cup game here at Flay Hive. Awesome to see.
It's a great day for it, too.
Perfect day. Situate, you know, is going to feel at home here as they played a state championship here a couple years ago against Medfield.
Yep.
And that was a oddity. It was like 10 a.m. game on I feel like a Saturday morning. And when I was living in the maze, I could hear the PA.
Yeah.
So it was you know, it was pretty cool to see a state championship at Westwood High School.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, we've seen some neutral site tournament games over the years. I know this past year, I believe we saw Bellingham come here for their Final Four matchup, actually. So, you know, not totally uncommon, but a state championship, quite cool to get to experience. And I'm sure Situate, like you said, going to feel right at home here. So we're under 1 minute now left at Flay High Field.
That pass gets away. Will be Mansfield's ball. As Evan mentioned, Mansfield is going to move to 10-0 on the season. They'll clinch their spot in the MIA playoffs in April. And the Wolverines move to 7-2. And I believe both teams will be back in action on Saturday for the last day of the Chowder Cup. Mansfield playing in the championship game. And Westwood will be playing
TBD.
Yeah, TBD.
To be determined today. You know, this is the first of the 4 games for the Chowder Cup, so we will find out shortly who's playing who, you know, at the end of this day. And I'm sure, Morgan, you will pass that information as long as you receive it on social, but that's going to do it here from Flay High Field.
That is going to do it, as Evan said. Mansfield Hornets 16-4 winners over the Wolverines in the second round of the Chowder Cup game. Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you all again soon. Westwood Media Center coverage of Westwood Boys Lacrosse.